Well, today for Christmas dinner, we're going to make braised short ribs. And to prepare, we're cutting up some onion. And we're going to saute a little onion, a little garlic. And after we do, well, first we cut the short ribs from the big long piece to individual serving size pieces. You could keep them longer, but they're actually more practical, actually, to eat like this size. And after we saute some onion and some garlic, we're going to flour the short ribs, and then we're going to braise them and get a little crust on them. And then we will put in about a cup or a cup and a half of red wine and a good cup and a half of beef broth. And we're going to let that cook for 2.5 hours until the meat is like it's just going to come off the bone. And it should be really tasty. We'll put some seasoning also. After we put the flour on, we'll put a little salt, pepper. We'll have the garlic inside the frying pan, so we won't need to add more garlic. I like to put just a little bit of Montreal steak sauce on because I just like that flavor. So we'll put a little bit of that on. Okay, so I'm going to saute the onions.
What are we doing?
And then we'll put the garlic in and let that brown. We're making dinner. We're making short ribs for dinner, and short ribs. And we're going to have mashed potatoes and gravy with that.
Ooh,
Gravy,
mashed potatoes.
gravy from the
What
juice.
is going on in here? Are you taking over our YouTube channel?
Not really, just for Christmas. So we are going to make the gravy for the mashed potatoes out of the juice that comes from the short ribs.
Ooh.
And it should be very flavorful. And then our master chef,
Me?
Audrey here, is going to make, and Braden are going to make green beans with pearl onions, and that is another delicious treat. So that will be our dinner for today. And right now I'm going to put the onion in the pan, let it saute, and then we'll pick up from there.
Oh. There we go. Grandma's cutting it up. She cut the whole onion in her bare hand. She's a mountain woman.
Years of experience. But you do have to be careful when you start doing it that way.
This is the grandma rule. You can cut anything in your hand.
I didn't know that.
When the
Okay.
kids use a cutting board.
So we just need, maybe about 3 minutes for this. And the garlic,
Grandma,
yes.
did you wash your hands?
I sure did. Twice. Thank you.
That's flavor.
Okay. Now I can really see what I'm doing. Okay, we'll just let that cook for a couple minutes.
Isn't it?
Oh.
And while that's cooking, we'll get the flour ready to put the short ribs in. we're sauteing the onions now, and they've been in there about 3 minutes. And so I have dusted the
What's
ribs.
the temperature at on that?
A medium, maybe just a little more than medium.
425.
And, oh, that's for the oven. Well, we have a pie in the oven. And so now I'm going to put the floured ribs in, and I'll put the meaty side down first and let that get nice and brown. And then after the meaty side gets nice and brown, then we'll turn it over and let the bottom part, and at that point we can put in the beef broth and the wine. But after I get these in the pan, I'm going to season them. And I'll season them with garlic, salt. Now you can use, if you use regular garlic in the onions, then you wouldn't need to add additional garlic salt. But we'll do salt and pepper. I'm going to use garlic salt, and I'm going to put a little Montreal steak seasoning, yes, just because I like the flavor it gives. And let's see, we're doing good here.
That's gonna fall.
And we're going to have a big pan full here, so
That's what we want, though.
we want leftovers.
These are excellent leftovers, right, Grandma?
Yes, they are.
They're probably even better leftover than they are.
Well, they're good. I don't know, it depends on what you like the best, but they're as good, I would say, leftover.
How's the meat?
The meat, we're going to cook the meat a long time.
No, I
till
mean,
it's
how
good
is
and
it? Is it
tender.
good? Is it pretty meaty, or is this a good set of meat?
Yes, but we have two sets of,
Oh, that's right. We got it.
yeah, we can take a couple more of these. Now this other piece, this other piece is a little more meaty. We got,
We got all of that from the.
yeah, we got this from a steer that was butchered, and so this is all very fresh and really looks good. The color is good in this meat. Okay.
Wait till after this little video. So then we'll let it. How long are we gonna cook it in there till it gets nice and brown?
Till it gets nice and brown, and however long it takes to get nice and brown, probably 5 minutes on a side. Okay. Use my fingers for that one. All right. Now, we are going to do the salt. And we're kind of generous with it. And pepper. And Audrey, my little helper, is going to pour the garlic salt on. Yeah, like that. A little more around the edges, honey. Good. That's good. And I'll do the Montreal. And we're not going to overdo it with the Montreal, but we'll just give it a little flavor in there. Okay. All right, so we've got about 5 minutes on each side, and then we'll put that on a platter. And we have another platter full, I would say, because we're going to have leftovers. So I'll get a platter now, and
Alrighty. Why
we'll
don't
get
we
ready for it to cook.
zoom in on it cooking?
Well, we're taking the first pan that we put in here. It's pretty much done on one side, on two sides. But we want to brown it on all sides to keep the juices in. And we had quite a bit, as you can see here, because we started another pan. We started this pan in cast iron, which is really, cast iron skillets are fantastic for this kind of thing when you're searing food. And this cast iron skillet's probably about 55 years old. And that one is just starting. This side's almost done here on this pan. And when this pan is done, we will probably get to fit them all in together, and then we'll put the beef and the beef broth and the wine with it, and just let it simmer then for a couple hours, and the flavor should go right through it.
That was good. It smells so good in here.
Only the audience could smell it. Okay, Grandma, what are we doing next?
Okay, so now I'm just going to finish seasoning this pan full, and then we're just going to wait for them to brown, and then we'll take them out when they're through browning. That's a little more garlic salt and a little more regular
Just
salt.
right off
And just a little Montreal seasoning.
Do you need me to open that wine bottle so it'll start
Yes,
breathing?
please. That's a good idea. Thank you, Josh. And this pan is just about ready. Okay. Just about all the sides have been seared now in this one. And when we simmer it, we're going to simmer it with the bone on the bottom. Okay, now the meat is all sauteed, browned. And I have a few extra onions that I browned also, so I'm going to put that over the top and kind of scatter it around over the top for flavor. And then we'll turn the pan up a little. Okay, we'll scatter these a little more around.
Looks so good.
And then we're going to turn the pan up a little. And now we're going to put in a can of beef broth. And there's quite a few ribs in here, so we'll take the whole can. Okay. And we're going to let that come to a simmer. And as soon as that comes to a simmer,
What's a simmer?
a simmer is just when it's getting ready to start bubbling a little bit. But we're going to put the lid on it right now, and when it comes to a simmer, we'll put a cup of wine, red wine, in it to add it'll give it a good flavor.
And what heat do you have it at?
Medium. Yeah, maybe just a little above medium. Just because we want to get the heat going. And then once the heat gets going, we could turn it down to medium. So we'll let that simmer for about 5-10 minutes, and then we'll put the wine in.
Nice.
Okay, now everything is just cooking nicely. We have a mild little bubbles going here. So we're going to put in a cup of red wine, and today we're using Tisdale Merlot. It's a California wine. It's a very nice wine. So we'll just pour that evenly over everything. Okay. And now we're going to let that simmer for about 2 hours. And by then it should be just the meat dropping off the bone. Well, these short ribs have been cooking now about 2.5, maybe 2 hours and 45 minutes. And in fact, they have cooked right off the bone. And they're very tender. And
there's one that doesn't have it totally off the bone.
it's hard not to snitch.
This is mine. Thank you.
And they turned, actually you can see they've turned a nice color. And so we're going to put this on the tray, and then we're going to make...
Oh my God.
Good. Thank you. And then we're going to take the juice from the short ribs, and we're going to make gravy over, so we can put gravy
Can
over.
we just eat it here or no?
No, you can't just eat it here now.
Okay.
But so anyway, we're going to make some nice gravy to go
Audrey, you want a
over
bite?
fresh mashed potatoes.
Ooh, here we go. Ooh, there we go. Ooh. Ooh, there's a bite for Audrey. Let's see if she likes it. Here, Audrey. You ready? Oh, Audrey.
Great
Good.
job. Good job.
Did you just eat it?
What? The floor's clean. It's Grandma's floor. Grandma's floor is very clean.
Oh my gosh.
That's disgusting.
I've not caught you.
Dad's not going to waste any of it.
And then over here we have our pearl onions and our green beans.
And talk about delicious. Did you get a picture of that, Braden?
Yeah, you're good.
Mashed potatoes.
Did you get a picture of the pearl beans and the...
Mashed potatoes.
Oh, these are done. Yep, these are done.
Mashed potatoes.
Mm.
Mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes.
mashed potatoes are
So that's
behind?
pearl onions, green beans, a little bit of dill, salt and pepper, and butter.
And those pearl onions, I'll tell you, the consistency of those onions is perfect.
This is magic.
I'll have to take some of that off.
Yeah, we probably should have trimmed them up a little, huh?
Yeah, I trimmed a little bit when I saw a big, but some of it was
Ooh,
in the
there's a
middle.
bone.
And,
Look at that bone.
oh, there's another one too.
Those bones are good for soup, huh?
Yeah.
You can smell the red wine.
Yeah, you can actually.
All right, everything's
Okay.
done. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed. Grandma, say bye to everyone. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Enjoy your holiday meals, and we'll see you next time.